So first off, I wanted to start with a quote from the hockey coach, Herb Brooks. Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's kind of what you guys have here today, is an opportunity to kind of hear what I have to say and kind of make a difference moving forward in your lives. So the whole goal of this entire speech is kind of just to get you guys to kind of think about things moving forward, whether that's your goals, your dreams, and just be grateful for every day. So this first slide, maybe there's something in your guys' life right now where it's like you think about maybe like a memory from a long time ago or a moment in time where it's like you were so grateful for that moment or that experience. And these two pictures I think really describe that well for me. I was very happy when I actually got, this was 2 years ago, I was able to talk to a guy who owned that Lamborghini there on the left. And I actually had to sit in the car and stuff and talk to the guy for a long time. It was a super great experience, and I was very thankful to be in that position. And then as well as, this is a picture that I took about 5 years ago that also just kind of represents being thankful and just, it's like showing that beautiful scenery like that. And so on the next slide here. So some of the big benefits that I kind of learned about actually in the Top 20 program, and then actually after some more research that I've done about gratitude, is that it improves your relationship opportunities, it improves your physical and psychological health, it increases your empathy level, it improves your self-esteem, and your mental strength. And those are all from Forbes magazine. And I like this little quote that we actually got here from Winnie the Pooh. Maybe some of you guys have seen that when you guys were younger. And it says that Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. And I think that's this key, is that no matter the size, people can hold a large amount of gratitude if they really think about it and focus on it. And so why did I even decide to do this talk? Why did I come up here? And you guys are, in here listening, which is, awesome. And I think the biggest thing is that it's like, this has made a big impact in my life, just even, talking about like personal development topics and different things. I don't know what happened here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Anyways, so this just made a big impact in my life. Over the past several years, I've read a lot of different motivational books, such as Beyond Grit, which I have right here, Max Out High Performance Habits, Unleash the Giant Within, as well as watching multiple motivational videos and different things. And if you would have told me probably 4 or 5 years ago this stuff would have impacted me, I probably would have told you that you were completely wrong. But my dad kind of was like, you know what, maybe start listening to people like Tony Robbins and Eric Thomas. And I've been doing it ever since, and it's made a huge impact in the way that I think and just kind of go about my everyday life. I also got to watch quite a few speeches at the Alexander High School here I went. And that was just really impactful for me. It kind of show that it's like maybe there is an opportunity for a student like myself to even do something like this in the college, which is why I'm here. And then as well as through the Top 20 program here at ATCC, that's a new program this year, and it just kind of got me motivated again, through that gratitude speech that we kind of talked about some different topics, and I'm like, you know what, I think I want to take this on. So that's why I'm here today. So now I want you guys to kind of close your eyes. This is a Tony Robbins activity. He actually does one of the seminars, so I want you guys to all kind of close your eyes really quickly, just for a few seconds. And just think of something you're really grateful for. It can be, even if, let's just say, you're having a negative day, whatever, just really think about it and really focus on it and actually just like really feel it. And that's the key, is you guys really want to just like feel that emotion as it goes through you. Okay, you guys open your eyes now. I kind of want to, know, it's like, how did that make you feel? I mean, for me, when I did that, and I've tried this a few times, it's like that, it usually brings me back to some good memories or some different, positive thoughts that I have. And the point that I want to hit home is that, being rich has nothing to do with money. That's something that I really learned, over the past few years, is that, it's like people, whether it was students growing up or people, seeing different things, there's always a persona that people can put on that it's like, yep, they're rich, but it's like, usually the person that has less wealth, but they're more grateful, is usually the one that's richer than the one that has, more wealth, but doesn't think positively or anything like that. The next thing that I want to talk about is, let's just say that you bought a newer Ford Focus like the one on the screen, and all of a sudden you started seeing everyone on the road. Usually I haven't seen that before, but it's like all of a sudden your mind's kind of being, coherent to these things. And what it's actually doing is your RAS, which is your reticular activating system in your brain, it's basically like your subconscious brain, kind of takes over because it's starting to focus on what you've made important in your life. So if you have goals, or let's just say you're being grateful about a certain thing, you can actually pull these things in your life and attract them to you. That's why I say what you focus on is important. And so that's just a really big part again is like using that, and we can kind of talk about that too a little bit later, how you can use those RAS and to pull some of your dreams and goals into fruition. Okay, so the next thing here, this is kind of my story with gratitude. So growing up, I did a lot with different sports and athletics, kind of going through time. Baseball and artist skiing were probably my two biggest ones that I was most involved with. Baseball was really huge. I was in that for many, many years. Artist skiing pretty much just through my entire high school career. And for any of you that know my mom, she was always the one that was on the sidelines, and she'd be cheering and stuff. She'd be like, "Go Austin!" I mean, it was just always something. But it's like I gotta say, if you have a parent that was ever like that, or somebody that was that supportive and stuff, take time to thank them, because it's so huge looking back. I mean, how much of a part she was of my life and stuff, and then she was there for every event that I was ever in. So that's just one portion. The next thing is that when I was in ninth grade, so basically just before I had started high school here and stuff, coming from a Christian school before, didn't really have a lot of experience with being in a very school. And about a month before I started school, my parents decided to sign divorce papers, and so I had to kind of go through that. And it's still, of course, we've been dragged on, but it's something that I won't touch, huge about. But I would say it's just been a big thing that's impacted my life, and it's part of my story. And I think, to be honest with you, I'm grateful for that to happen, because both of my parents are, in a much better mental situation than they were, back when I was, and it was constantly fighting all the time versus now where they can actually, somehow get along, and I have a better relationship with both of them. So this next one is going to be a little bit hard for me to talk about. This is about my cousin Eric. So in the Becker family, we have, on my dad's side, he has 8 brothers and sisters, and so almost every one of them has kids, and so it's a very big, and we used to always go there because it's like my grandpa was always there and stuff, and so we used to always go to their family together because it was just a very nice, open, fun environment every time we went to those. And I always look forward to seeing my cousins because they were pretty much like siblings to me, being I'm an only child. And so, and Eric and his brother Matthew were always ones that I really, really wanted to see every time, and it was a really good connection that we had. They were always into like the motorized toys and different things. And so, but a couple of years ago, it was actually July 22nd, 2017, I got a call from my dad. I was driving a car, me and my mom were coming back from Millerville Butter Days, and I could still see it like it was yesterday. I got a call from my dad, and I answered the phone, and I said, "What's up? What's going on?" And I could tell something was wrong. He was kind of crying on the phone or whatever and stuff, and I just said, "What's going on? Please tell me what's happening." And my dad said, he's just like, "Your cousin Eric just shot himself yesterday." And I just, heart dropped in the car. It was super, super emotional for me. I remember my mom was sitting, beside me in the car and stuff, and thinking that it's like, and that was basically almost fulfilling to me that, it was like, how do you even take that? And I remember getting home, and I was in my room crying and stuff, and I'm just like, what can I try to take positive out of this? Because, it was so just, drenched in that emotion. And I actually had the opportunity last summer, before he passed, he actually had a daughter, and she was about I think at the time she was almost a year old. And that's me with her. Actually, this past summer I went out to Montana with my dad, and that's where they lived. And I got to see her and stuff, and it was just amazing for me to see, his little girl and stuff, how beautiful she is, and just really get that experience with her. And every time you see her face, it's like you always know that it's, part of her is Eric, and it's a huge part for me to see that and really, experience those emotions when I'm with people like that. And so that's why every time I'm with my cousins or whatever, it's like I take that time as an opportunity for me to, get to know them better and really connect. Last thing with my story is going to be ICDC. So back in high school, I had a teacher approach me and he said, "I think you should really consider joining DECA." And I'm just like, okay, what is DECA? Why would I want to be in it? And much convinced me, and I was kind of leaning towards business at the time, and I really didn't know, what I wanted to do. And so he convinced me to join, and right off the bat, I found myself kind of, enjoying it and stuff, having fun with the whole process. And so my senior year in high school, I actually got to go to their big international competition, which was in Atlanta, Georgia. Me and my partner actually claimed in the top 10 of the entire world for our event, which was super huge. And and that was a big highlight of my year that year. And then going into the collegiate one, which we have here at the Tech College, it's something where it's like I thought to myself, I was like, okay, is this really going to be as good of experience as what I had? Because it was so phenomenal what I had for the high school one, and how we went all that way with our event. But to be honest with you, it was a lot more than I imagined it to be. We had a phenomenal group. It was a lot of fun. We got to eat things like that strawberry cheesecake shake there on the bottom, and ride the Orlando and stuff. And it was an absolute blast. I got to connect with students that I never even made a connection with before, and so it was just a huge thing that I'm really, really grateful for and will remember for a long time. So, okay, so the next thing is be better or be better. This is actually my mom's favorite sayings that she has, and one thing that a quote from Tony Robbins. This was actually through his documentary that he had and stuff, and he said, "If you're going to blame someone for all the bad, you better be prepared to blame them for all the good as well." I'm not saying to stop blaming other people. I'm saying blame elegantly and intelligently. I mean, there's always this phrase that comes up where it's like, better is clearly the option, but it's like, how many of us actually choose to be better instead of just, focusing on something that's, so bad in our lives? And I think, it's like, one of the biggest eye-openers for me was I actually this one day is I called my dad because, he was never there at different events when I was younger, and he, wasn't always home at certain times to, be supportive and stuff, and but this was just always a thing where it's like, I called one day and I said, you know what, I can be mad at you for this, I can be mad at you for that, but it's like, in the end, a lot of the positives that it's like he helped me work on machines and do different things when I was younger. It's like, a lot of those things neutralize each other, and it made me into who I am, so I can't, The next thing that I want to talk about is actually somebody that I heard a video on. He was super inspirational to me. He's got a book out now and stuff that kind of goes out to colleges, kind of, trying to convince students, how to connect better with each other. And his name is Isaac Zerwanka. He basically he said the big turning moment in my life was, he said, I asked a question myself. He said, every time he said I would go into a job interview, or I would go into a business, or I would go into a college, or talk to somebody, he said I would always be asking, what can this person, place, thing give to me? And he said, all I did, he said one day, was he said, I switched the question around from what can this person give me to what can I contribute to this person. And he said it completely changed the game. I mean, the doors are opening for him and stuff. He's now climbing the list of the best speakers in the world. And that was his big message was, it's like, if you can change your question, you can change your outcome. That's another point that I want you guys to kind of think about moving forward. Next thing that I want to talk about is actually dreams. And so this has been a huge thing for me in the past few years is with a lot of classes that I've had here at the Tech College, but also just personal experiences and different things, watching different videos. I really noticed that it's like, if you're going to get serious about chasing your dreams and making them a must, you have to be specific. You have to start writing them down. So actually, I have a couple things here where I actually wrote down some things where it's like I have all the different cars that I want to own, or different things that I want to do in my life. And it's like, I want to ask you guys, is there something that's like that you guys want to do? Whether it's like a specific career, or it's like whether you want like a sound mind, or let's just say it is like a specialized car or something, or a big house, or a happy marriage, whatever it is, you got to start making it a must. And that's always something like Tony Robbins always says. It's like, if you want your dreams to become reality, you have to take it from the want stage to the must stage. That's a huge thing that, it's like, and that's even for me, coming back to that first slide that I had with the Lamborghini. When I was about 6 years old, I actually had, I always wanted an orange Lamborghini, and this was always a car that I kept with me, was because I was always thinking about it. And now, even if I had the money to do that, just the reliability factor and stuff, I'm always looking at the cars and stuff, so I probably wouldn't buy it. But it was such a great thing to keep with me all the time and keep it with you to just keep thinking about it, because it makes you feel like you actually are empowered to do it and actually go through it. And the thing is, for me, it is like, I made it a must. And that was huge, like I said, when I got to go see that guy with the Lamborghini and stuff, when I got to actually sit in the car, because it actually made me believe that it's like I could actually touch the dream, and it was mine. So it's like that's something that I want you guys to do too, is just, be very specific, start writing that stuff down, start thinking about it, on a daily basis. So the next thing is it's like, Austin, you're thinking to yourself, you're just like, okay, Austin, there's all these things that you talked about. If you are chasing your dreams, it's like, why make an effort? You might, fail, you might lose money, you might lose relationships, over the long term and stuff. But it's like, I just want to give you a couple of statistics. 151,000 people die every single day somewhere in the world, which means that 6,300 about people die each hour. So in the course of this presentation, there's, people are dying somewhere in the world. And just for reference, it pretty much is there's a thing that's also from Les Brown, one of his famous things as well. He talks about where it's like, if you were basically on a hospital bed and you were close to death and you kind of looked around and you're just like, okay, what are the dreams, goals, things that I would regret if I was to die right now? How many would be in that room with you? And it's like, there's a lot of people that I think have that on their back and they haven't, faced their dreams because they're scared of it. And it's like, you got people who have made a big impact. For instance, Kobe Bryant this last Sunday, as probably many of you know, passed away. He was very impactful on the basketball world, and as well as just, in kind of just like the whole realm of like sports. He was very committed to his dream, and he was always, chasing after something. He was always trying to beat Michael Jordan and those different guys. And so that's just, I think, a big testament to, it's like, why should he make an effort? Because why not? It's like he's, you can do something as big as Kobe Bryant did, where he made an impact in the entire world. So that's a big portion as well. The fact, and this other point that I want to make is that, it's like the fact that we're all even sitting here today is, amazing in itself. The chances of even being born into the world is like 1 to 400 trillion. So that's, a completely massive number. And so just thinking about it, it's like, why wouldn't you, make life a priority and live each day like it's, like your last? So kind of the last thing here that I have, of all these different things and stuff, is, just making an impact. People ask me every year, they're just like, Austin, do you have a word for the year? Do you have a phrase for the year? And I'm just like, okay, I think that's kind of, dumb, whatever. But this year, I kind of said, I do want to choose something, so I said I'm going to make an impact. I said that's kind of, and I think that's something that you guys should all, strive to do. I'm not saying that's your specific word, phrase, whatever, but I think it's something that you guys should really strive to do in your daily lives, or just, over the course of the next few months. And so, probably one of my favorite quotes from Eric Thomas, I actually used this in a high school presentation I did, is he said, if you want to do what you've never done before, you want to be what you've never been before, change your mentality. And it's so huge that it's like the mentality that you have, whether it's about gratitude or just positive thinking, or like having that growth mindset is so huge. And one of his favorite analogies that he has is the lion versus gazelle. He brings it up in almost every speech, where he says, if a lion sees a gazelle, they see each other at the exact same time. And a gazelle thinks, oh no, I gotta run right now. And the lions, he's like, let's go, baby, it's lighten up time, they're hardwired to attack that animal. And it's like, the gazelle basically runs from something while the lion's running at it. And so you gotta kind of have the mentality of, it's like, what do you want to be when you're doing these different kinds of things and just going through your everyday life? Do you want to be somebody who's running away from those certain aspects, or do you want to be somebody who's running towards something? And so the three things that I want to leave you with today that I think are just really crucial to your success in the future, and just, being a daily reminder to yourself, is who do you want to be remembered as? Like I said before, I want to be a person that, makes an impact, feels fulfilled when I'm doing my career, just, has an overall just, happy and successful life. And I hope that that's something you guys are striving for, but again, it's going to be individual to each of you guys. Another thing is just what can you be grateful for today? So that's something I really want you to think about on a daily basis. So actually, also in the Top 20 program, we started filling out these journals about what we can think about on on a daily basis, 2 to 3 things a day of what you were grateful for. And I gotta say, when we came back to that class the next week, it was a huge difference with everybody with their mindset and just thinking about those things all the time. And so I think that's another thing you guys can consider doing. The third and final thing would just be, what can you do to move closer to accomplishing your dreams and goals? And that could be today, tomorrow, in the next 5 years, whatever it is. But really start thinking about, it's like, should I start writing them down? Should I start making them specific? Should I start talking to people who are mentors, or should I start asking things at different job sites or different things? Just trying to get as much experience as you can, and trying to really touch those dreams and make them a reality is so huge. And so, last thing I just kind of want to touch on here is that it's like there's a quote that actually William Shakespeare did a long time ago, and he said, "A coward could die 10,000 times. A brave person dies but once." So he said, it's like, which person again? You want to be just have that decision. The thing that I want to remind you guys, as you guys are sitting here and stuff too, is it's like, I don't have the most impactful story, and there's people that have different experiences that of course are going to be more dramatic than what I've had. And every day is not going to be perfect, but it's like you got to learn to take those experiences, make the best of them, and try to make like the rest of your life the best of your life, as they always say. And just be more grateful, be more positive. It's going to definitely change you in the long run. I'm an example of that. And then again, just like in the beginning, the goal of this speech was just to get you to think and try to think differently, and to kind of end it off to starting again kind of from the beginning where I said that was part of the Herb Brooks quote. The last part of his thing that he does in the miracle speech was he said, "This is your time. I'll go out there and take it." And so that's what you guys need to do, I think, moving forward. So thanks for listening. My name is Austin.